and gentlemen, it's been a while. Certainly longer than I had anticipated. But we are bringing back what I think is a fan-favorite Whiteboard Wednesday mini-series. Let me tell you what your favorite MLB The Show card says about you. These are some of the first Whiteboard Wednesdays that were ever birthed from my cranium. There's a special place in my heart. I hope to actually do this more as MLB The Show 24 and the future goes on, because I think it's a fun exercise. I think it's fun to visit some of these cards, see how some people use them, and generally just make fun of each other, not in a harmful way. None of this is serious, please don't get offended. But yes, we're about to rip into each other. It's going to be fun. Folks who are new here, hi, my name is Kenny. This is Whiteboard Wednesday. It is the MLB The Show series that includes zero gameplay of the video game. It is just me and this whiteboard, and we just riff on some funny topics or some serious ones sometimes. So hit that subscribe button, come along for the ride, and let me know in the comments if you ever have ideas for any new content. On that note, quick little tangent here before we get into the actual content that you came here for. Our Discord is now functioning. It's up and running. It is linked in the description down below. If you have not yet joined the Discord, I'm sad, make me smile. Hit the join button or whatever button it's called on Discord and become a part of our community. And now, we're gonna go make fun of each other. The first individual we're gonna talk about in this video is Harry Ford, the jolly old Brit. If Harry Ford is your favorite card, there's a very good chance you enjoy a casual spot of tea. That's right, a little casual tea and crumpets in the afternoon, get you going. That's probably what you drink while you're in a very long MLB The Show session. Forget about any of those branded energy formulas of which I am not partnered with and cannot speak of. You go for caffeinated tea, some Earl Grey perhaps. And if you enjoy Harry Ford, it is very likely you are a short king. And that's fine, because probably theoretically I'm also a short king. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", depending on the shoes that I wear, and I'm pretty sure that classifies as short. Bonus one for Harry Ford, you're also a Buxton Boost abuser, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The Captain Boost is incredible, and Harry Ford is one of the biggest beneficiaries of it. SDS lately has done a great job of giving us cards of fan-favorite players, and Adalberto Mondesi every year is a beneficiary of this standpoint of SDS. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, nothing Adalberto Mondesi has ever done in real life should equate to a card that is usable in any sense in MLB The Show. He is either always injured or always shit. So, listen, I'm not complaining. His captain card is incredibly fun to use and very valuable. So, I'm kind of in this boat with you. Those of us who love Mondesi are OGs. We were there in the beginning when Adalberto Mondesi first burst onto the scene. And we were all like, hey, who's this slappy little fella who's really fast, plays shortstop and second base, maybe even some center field, and crushes every lefty he sees? He must be an individual who's made up from the heavens. No, he's a baseball player who had potential, but sucked. However, and it pains me to say this because I also use this Mondesi card from time to time, you don't mind a little bit of cheese. Adalberto Mondesi is a cheesy little boy. I'm not saying we're up there bunt dancing and bunting down the line. I don't do either of those things, but he gets some weird-ass hits, man, and some weird exit velos, and he is the king of the no-touchy homer. So there's some cheese that goes on with Mr. Mondesi. Kyle Manzardo got a super cool spring breakout card, a super cool program, and Major League Baseball in general. Shout out to you. The spring breakout event is an incredible idea. Please never stop it. But Kyle Manzardo had one of the most usable, glitchy early game diamonds that you could possibly have. But using Kyle Manzardo still and loving him to this day says something about you. First and foremost, it says that you have separation anxiety. Because at this point, and I know the power creep means we're slow rolling cards, but at this point, if you play enough, you probably shouldn't be using Kyle Manzardo anymore. And listen, this is not me poo-pooing people's favorite play styles. Play the game how you'd like, use the cards that you would like to use. But, I mean, listen, we have better options than Mr. Manzardo at this point. It's just a fact. And it also means if you use Kyle Manzardo that you are probably a sad, upset Cleveland fan. You wished he would have made the opening day roster. He didn't. You probably won't even see him in the bigs this year, which is probably unfair, and I'm probably incredibly incorrect, but Cleveland doesn't know how to have a real lineup. They think dinky doodles win games. That's not how it works. There is an 87 captain Kyle Schwarber in this game because SDS has some sort of weird Kyle Schwarber fetish of sorts. They can't go a game cycle, a week, a month, a year, without giving us some sort of highly rated Schwarber for us to use. And now that is because, of course, a lot of people love his swing, like this individual here who suggested the card on Twitter, but at the same time, we don't need to have all these Schwarbers all the time. Other players exist too. So if Kyle Schwarber was one of your 2 selections from the hitter captain pack, it probably tells me that you are resistant to change. What is change in your head? It is anxiety-inducing. And, I mean, I feel that because I hate change as well. But you cannot give up Kyle Schwarber for the life of you. You have to have him. If we're being honest, there were plenty of other better captains in that pack. But you saw Kyle Schwarber's sweet, juicy swing and his big old beard, and you were like, I need that man on my team immediately because I miss him and his 1899s from last year. And if Kyle Schwarber is your favorite card, it also tells me you don't give an absolute F about defense. You're probably DHing him, and so it's not a problem, but there's probably a portion of you playing him in left field, or maybe even first base. First base is probably fine. Left field is downright silly. Defense, they said there were more animations this year, and I have found that most of the new animations are negative ones. I can only imagine the type of shit he gets in the outfield. If Candelario is your favorite card, you might be new to the game. You might just be using him because he's the most relevant third baseman right now with the power creep. But I think if you're using Candelario, you know something that others don't. And to that end, that brings us right to the first point here. You are simply a knower. People remember, I think it was from MLB 21, maybe 22, certainly, possibly not 23, I think it was 21 and 22. The finest Candelario cards that the Tigers got at the end of those game cycles was friggin' incredible. No joke. An endgame caliber, holy crap third baseman who can even play first in a pinch if you needed him to. He is an incredible card with a really good swing, switch-hitty bat, corner infielder. I'm an enormous fan. This Easter egg hunt card with the stupid, silly little card art for no reason, he's an awesome card. But if he's your favorite card, it also probably means, potentially anyway, that you are a switch-hitting demon. You build lineups entirely based on having switch hitters in it. You are one of those people who must always have a platoon matchup. Or at the very least, you like making your opponent's life an actual nightmare. All jokes aside, though, Candelario is great. You should be using him. He's free and very easy to get. There are some people who live and breathe who think John Donaldson is the best card in the game and he is their favorite. And notice, with my monotone delivery, how that makes me feel. John Donaldson, super historic, super important to the history of the game, super cool that he is introduced in storylines and such. I am not against his inclusion in the game. However, if he is your favorite card, boo! Boo you! You know why? It leads us to point number 2. You probably abused the two-way. The two-way glitch is gone, thank the sweet heavens. But you were probably abusing it. You probably P5 John Donaldson in about 3 hours because you just used him in every single game, all the time. In ranked, BR, events, etc., wherever you could use them. And that means, boo you! Also, SDS, you sneaky little devils. You couldn't go 1 second without having us suffer under the wrath of John Donaldson and his outlier slider and all his other nasty pitches. Why? You didn't have to do that to us. Last up, we're going to be talking about Yasmani Grandal, the slowest player in the history of Major League Baseball, or at least tied with Yadier Molina. It's got to be a toss-up. If Yasmani Grandal is your favorite card, it probably means you are after glitchy cards. And I don't know if that's good, bad, wise, or just really plain annoying. But you're building a lineup basically off glitches. The Trey Turners of the world. The Ketel Martes. Shocking we don't have a diamond of him yet, by the way, but stay tuned, I'm sure. It has to be coming soon. You're trying to build a lineup that is going to make your opponent furious. If you're taking Yasmani Grandal, it also probably means that you are not an aggressive game manager. You are going station to station, base to base. Extra bases? Absolutely not. Sack flies third to home, medium deep outfield? Absolutely not. You don't care about speed. Mr. 6 speed over here, which might actually be generous, he ain't going nowhere. Balls in the gap? It's a single. Also, another characteristic of Yasmani Grandal is that I can't get him out. At all. I hate facing him. I feel like it's an automatic home run every single time I throw the pitch. I should just start intentionally walking him. Now, I end this video by saying my favorite card is Bernie Williams. Paul O'Neill is my favorite player ever, and the first ever 1-of-1 P5 I've ever gotten. But when I look at my lineup right now in ranked, and I see how the landscape of the power creep is starting to change, I look at Bernie Williams in my corner outfield, I'm like, how can I take this fella out of my lineup? So here is my prompt for you. You tell me what characteristics this means for me. What does it mean that Bernie Williams is my favorite card? Let's flip it, reverse it, Uno reverse, and play this game against me. But that will do it for this Whiteboard Wednesday. If you like this type of Whiteboard Wednesday, it took a little hiatus, but if you want me to keep bringing it back every so often, let me know in the comments. Let your voice be heard, because I want to hear from you. I want to give you the content that you guys like. So thank you for making it to the end. I love you all. Remember that this was just jokes, and I'll see you next time.